Welcome back to today's broadcast. In fact, today is a very high and celebrating news. Let's go into what is going on in US and the UN. So, according to the headline, it says, "Beyond diplomacy, US and UN validate Biafra referendum document against Nigerian pressure and why UN acceptance of Biafran breakup letters that change West African border forever." The main reason why they accept the Biafran documents and then also validate the Biafran referendum documents. The main reason why they accept it and what make is like they are now trying to change the border of West Africa. The border of West Africa is Nigeria, trying to change the map of West Africa, meaning very soon the issue of Biafra will become a reality around the world, and then everybody will see that it is truly a country on its own. That is the mean of changing the border of West Africa. In this video, this our brother, this our Biafran activist is going to explain to us what that is going on right now in UN and the US and the letter that has been accepted by the United Nations, and also the referendum that is going on right now in the southeast in the Biafra land, what that is happening there, and why the UN is now looking on the Nigerian nation for them to do the right thing. Because the main reason why you see American keep debating and keep telling the country for them to release Mazin Amdekano, all those things is part of it. All those things is part of it. There are many things that is going underground. There are many things. That is why you see the country is, in fact, is in heavy fear, because they don't know what America may do next. Just like what happens to Somaliland, that they just wake up one morning, before you know, Israel accepts them to become a nation. Then before you know, every other country accept them. As of today, now they are now their own nation as a country, and that is what is still going to happen to Nigeria very soon. That is why you see the government of Nigeria, they are fighting tooth and nail to make sure that they silence anything concerning Biafra, but that cannot be possible as it is. So I would like you to watch it to the end. As about to watch, like, subscribe and share for everyone to see things going on in the country.
That is the right step to take, and we continue to show our solidarity that we are partaking on the referendum on every Monday, and that is why you are seeing massive sit at home, and to remind the United Nations, to remind the global world, we are still, on referendum on every Monday. So when you come to Biafran land, both south and southeast, you are seeing massive solidarity to Biafran referendum, and that is what is happening every Monday. But the good news, breaking news, I call for celebration that Biafra is already here, is now the territorial integrity, sovereignty of Biafra document has been signed by the United Nations. Kudos to Dr. Ngozi Urabeze, having secured the nod of the strongest man on earth. Donald Trump, the United States president, has ordered that those things should be made authentic and signed properly, which has given the United Nations and of course the United States of America to deploy United Nations forces in Biafra land. Imagine, it is not a joke, because I think there have been series of warning, and they can see upon what we are talking about, a lot of people are still being killed. Our women are being chased from one place to another, and the issue of genocide is everywhere in Biafra land. In Enugu, you can see there's massive kidnapping of bishops in the church. They went to the church and kidnapped a reverend father. They still, as I'm talking to you now, there is more than 5, 10, 15 communities in Enugu state that are still in IDP camp. But you can see that the Enugu governor himself is not even talking about it, because his position as the governor of that state is still very much clear that he is representing the caliphate, in that state. And not only that, in so many states in Biafran land is under serious siege. Now that Ngozi Orabes have secured a United Nations nod on Biafran territories. You know what I mean by territories? Boundaries, both air, sea, and water and land, has been signed by the United Nations. Big victory. I tell you that Biafra is here, and it has finally, gotten into our hand. So upon what we are talking about today, do you know the significance of that? It means at the United Nations and the United States of America has the enormous power, now to deploy, United Nations security forces in Biafran land. And once it is done, it's final. And if going to happen, then it means that that is the final blow on Nigerian soil. Of course, there will be no Nigerian military, there will be no Nigerian police anymore. If by the time they have concluded in that, what it means, the good news there is that United Nations have signed that these areas, this geographical zone, this geographical location now as a territory of sovereignty of the United States of Biafra as a Christian nation has been signed by United Nations, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. But what we are witnessing currently now is panic is already in Aso Rock now, because of this breaking news. But they're trying to see to like cover it up and as if nothing is actually going on, but it's a deep wound punch on the alleged integrity and siege that's happening in Biafra. There's a lot of things that these crimes these people are committing in Biafran land: unknown gunmen, extortion, raping, invasion of churches and schools, kidnapping here and there, killings and all that. All these things are taking place, courtesy. And you can see on daily basis, they are always looking at the other side of it. Well, that is what it is for the latest news coming from United Nations and, of course, United States of America. And I must say, that's a good one coming from Dr. Ngozi Orabese.
Good one for Ngozi, because the checking point in the southeast is so enormous, and they are saying, where is it that the checking point in the southeast is just way too much than other parts in the other region in Nigeria? And at the same time, do you not think with the Nigerian military and the Nigerian federal government, hearing this move by Ngozi, do you not think this will now make them even further strengthen or get more powers around the Biafra territory?
Of course, it is more powers, but let me just tell you, what we are just waiting is just the announcement. And once the announcement is been announced, you will be surprised. At the first go, you will see over 5 million, Biafran resistance forces everywhere occupying Biafran land, both south, south and southeast. At a go, that is why they are telling them now that it is time for exit, and that is why we are having these proofs here and there from world leaders, world institutions, world bodies, so that we become our defense at the end of the day. And that's the message very clearly. So we cannot continue, because most of them now, if you don't post them to the eastern part of the country, they believe that they are not working until they get to the eastern part of the country, and that's why you have thousands of roadblocks, and if you look at them on camera, you saw they are doing nothing apart from extortion, rape, kidnapping, and most times, if opportunity warrants, they turn to themselves into unknown gunmen. And look at what happened recently, where a policeman was telling somebody, that if he is not Igbo, you would have done this, and the video go viral. But look at what the federal government did. They never show us the face of the man. We never knew whether there was justice in that regard. They, deliberately covered it up. So all these things are being documented by, as evidence against the Nigerian occupation of the Biafran land, because Biafra has been recognized as a nation for self-determination, waiting official recognition from a sovereign nation. That is all we're waiting. But while we are still waiting that, we're waiting on that proclamation that is going to come very soon, we are busy, engaging in diplomatic ties with different countries and of the world and global institutions who are responsible for sovereignty defense, relations and treaties. So you can see that it goes beyond, just what Nigerian people think, because this is how they actually undirected Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You can see, what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been able to achieve at this moment. So, but I know they are getting intelligence support on the news, but unfortunately, they cannot be able to stop it again because, the Biafran push and movement have become a motion that can never be stopped anymore. So, what Donald Trump means is that, to avoid continuous killing, of Biafrans, and to avoid continuous genocide and invasion of churches by jihadists, who found themselves in Biafran forest, then they have made it very clearly, obtain United Nations authority and, to further deploy. You see, the deployment of United Nations forces, in Biafran land will signal that the time has come, and that will mean that exit of Nigerian military and police in Biafran land.
Okay, but Ngozi Orabuzi have really said, let us, like the Nigeria and the Biafran government should negotiate in peace. But a lot of people have said, they don't like our approach, saying that there should be a peaceful dialogue from the UN between Biafra and Nigeria. But we saw Simon Ekpa's approach, was being aggressive towards them. A lot of people said they like Simon Ekpa's approach. Do you think that if the Nigeria government fails to do the needful, do you think that the UN forces now coming to Nigeria, do you think it's justified?
Of course, that's what if you want force, they give it force. There has been collapse of conflict resolutions between Nigeria and Biafra over the years. And opportunity we are given, like the one tendered by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they almost killed him, where 28 people died in his house. And since that time, the Biafran government in exile was convened. And when that means, it becomes an end to whatever agreement and treaty on Nigerian Biafra war would have led us to has already been cancelled and jeopardized. The Biafran government in exile has moved beyond that angle of sitting down with Nigeria anymore. We can't sit down with Nigeria anymore. And at this point in time, Nigerians themselves want a separation. Not only the Biafrans themselves. The Hausas want to pull out. Of course, I don't know how serious the Yorubas are in that regard. But the only thing that the only nation that the world is looking at this moment now is just Biafra. If you go to Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu have made it very clearly. It is an ally of the Israeli government. And that's why, of course, that was coming from Amir. If I can remember, Ohana. Yes, Amir Ohana. They said Biafra is ally of the Israeli government. So you can see that Nigeria cannot be able to hold waters now in the diplomatic international circle because Biafra has been able to envelope everything that has to do, shut down all their diplomatic channels. And of course, they are more like representing Nigeria anywhere in the world now. So when you are looking at, within the diplomatic circle, the people we are seeing at this point in time are Biafrans, and nobody wants to talk about Nigeria anymore. No, even the Nigerians themselves, they can hardly stand up to talk about Nigeria. You can see the Biafran struggle has enveloped Nigeria diplomatically, and that is why there cannot be any kind of resolution. There cannot be any kind of sitting on the table dialogue and anything more again. All we want, because this dialogue, looking at it front and back, cannot stop the jihadist tendencies in Nigeria, and can also not stop infiltration of Hamas and Fulani herdsmen in the forest of Biafra. So the best thing they have decided, and this one, with global support, is disintegration of Nigeria, to attend Israel. And Biafra happens to be the prominent nation now the world is actually looking at. They are also talking about, Biafra citizen card. They are also talking about Biafran passport. They are also talking about Biafran identity card. All those things are there, and people are, trying to identify themselves with agencies responsible to the issuance of those citizenship requirement that makes you a citizen of Biafra officially. But so that when these things, I'm telling you, you can just wake up one day and you just notice that it has been done, and a nation has finally recognized Biafra as a sovereign nation. So that is why you are seeing that there's authenticity in that regard now. Having the United Nations backing, having the EU backing on territorial sovereignty as a nation, as an imagined sovereign nation, which means that we have come under the protection of a global body and global powers. Considering the fact that this thing we are done based on evidence tendered before the global institution like United Nations and the EU, that shows very clearly that Biafrans are being murdered on daily basis because of their faith.
So correct. Okay. Israeli government and the United States of America has given Nigeria, especially the man under the watch of this administration, but Bola Ahmed Tinubu 72 hours to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They elapsing the expiration of 60 days. That is 2 good months given to this administration under the watch or supervision of Bola Ahmed Tinubu has expired to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, whose kinsmen had gathered, their elders, their monarchs and kings, Igbes, Ezes. Eze Idigo was there. Obi Igbe Achebe of Onitsha, Obi of Onitsha, King Achebe was there. Ata of Igala, the grand monarch of the entire Nigerian contraption or country, was there. Then came that Igbe of Ezago in Enugu State, an orator, a man of motivational speech, a motivational speaker, who actually held the Oni of Ife, the entire monarch in the southwest, including the Nigerian current president Bola Ahmed Tinubu, ransom with his oratory rendition, streamlining reasons and points why federal government of Nigeria under the watch of Bola Ahmed Tinubu should release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the Igbo son. He questioned, why could you release Igbowo, your son, and preparing to give him the highest honor, Are Onika Comfort of Yoruba land, while that young man who has done nothing, an Igbo man, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is suffering in jail for what he has not done. Release him if you actually know you are calling for traditional council of monarchs, which has never been existed or documented in Nigeria, for a meeting. We are not and we couldn't be part of it. Explain the Igbe, the Eze from Ezago axis of Enugu State. Igbe, Eze, His Royal Highness Igade, you actually represented the Igbos too well. The gathering at Abuja, a call by Oni of Ife, he target traditional council of what? Royal fathers or chiefs or rulers from southern Nigeria, which has never been in existence. It has never been endorsed. It is a handwork of the southwestern Obas and Kabiesis, you know, to extort, to cheat, to bring down, to subjugate the Igbo kings, Igbes and rulers, the Obis and Obas, including Oba of Benin. Only a young man that ascended the throne at the age of 48, I know it, was trying to spearhead Eze the God of Aguleri. For your information, all my listeners, please, Eze Chukwuemeka of Aguleri was the king of the Igbos 2,500 years before the king of Nri in Agwata local government. Do we have Oyo Empire then? No. The Igbos have come a long way. They actually left Egypt during the time of Exodus. In the Old Testament, you will see the whole accounts, the stories of how Eri, the father of the Igbos, left Egypt with his kinsmen. He could not even wait for Moses, anointed by God, to lead his people, the Jews, out of the land of Israel. That was how the Igbos journeyed down to the southern river Nile, from where they exuded into the contraption or region where they settle today, lower part of River Niger. This young Oni is trying to supersede Igbo of Aguleri and the rest of the Ezes in Igbo land, to head all of them and bring them down as slaves. And this, my king, my monarch, my papa, Nnamu, actually stated everything clear at FCT, speaking it right on the face of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that they are not happy for that kind of gathering. Why you release Igbowo, leaving Mazen and the Kano, our son, and you are telling us that we come here to build a united Nigeria, one Nigeria. Who is one in Nigeria? Fulani and Yoruba are one in Nigeria with exclusion of Igbos. Keep on telling us the truth. You can't unite us. You can't call this kind of meeting a council, a platform, royal platform, monarchical podium or medium that has not been legally, you know, let me say, accepted, generalized by the entire, you know, traditional rulers in the southern Nigeria. They blasted Oni of Ife. They rejected his call. They actually removed their head from being used as slaves. Thank you so much, this Igbe, this monarch, my Eze from Enugu State. You have spoken well. You have actually indicated that the Igbos are the oldest race on the continent of Africa, but the kind of the Yorubas, the people they are, they play along with Sokoto Caliphates and Fulani Caliphates to bring the Igbos down, claiming that Sardauna Sokoto is number one. Sardauna Sokoto is number one in Sokoto State and for the Fulani nationality, but not where the Igbos are. Oni of Ife is number one, the paramount Kabiesi in Yoruba land, not where Oba of Benin is, not on the domain of the Igbos, Ezes, and the Igbes Council. We are the Igbos, we know our tradition and customs. We don't use money to buy Igbe, we don't use money to buy Eze, we don't use money to buy whatsoever the name of a particular dynasty or kingship is in Igbo land. It is a hereditary thing. We inherit it. We don't buy it. We don't steal it. It is not political. We don't play eye service to call someone Igbe or Eze. It must be inherited by the family of a particular person enthroned as Eze and Igbe in Igbo land. I have come again. You know me. I'm always a man, Ralph Tresvant, and I'm telling you exactly how it is. I'm not afraid of anybody. The Igbos have come a long way to state it clearly in front of Oni of Ife that that kind of gathering is not allowed, accepted by Eze Digo of Aguleri or Amainebo of Opobo or Obi of Onitsha, even the Obi of Nikeland in Enugu State. We are older. Think about Ata of Igala, a man that has actually rejected Queen Elizabeth and his husband, denying them bowing down. Do you know what it means? Kowtow. Kowtow, K-O-T-O-W. A language, a town. royal town invented by the Japanese. That is when you prostrate before the king. It is called kowtow, Kowtow. Arthur of Igala refused it to Queen Elizabeth and his husband, 18th centuries, when they gathered, and Sadano Scoto was actually to subjugate, having upper hand above Arthur of Igala. He rejected it, and right on this front of Tafawa Balewa, Sadano Sokoto, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, and Ahmadu Bello, that he would never, in his own kingdom, bow down before King of England. I mean, Queen of England and his husband. He rejected it. How more of this young Oni that just, migrated from America, invited to take over the king's stool in Oni Ife land. How could they just want to at least lure the Igbo kings, Igbes, Atas, Oba of Benin into that kind of political, let me say, manipulation? They actually made it clear to him that he has failed. The Southwest has failed the Igbos, betrayed them times without number. And that's why he made it clear that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must come out when Tinubu, if he wants to begin discussing Nigerian unity. Who and who are united in Nigeria? Nobody. Unity of Nigeria is between Yoruba and Fulani. Two of them are sharing the national cake, traditional leadership of the Nigerian country. So that's why the Eze, the Igwe, rejected that call and made it clear that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should come out before anything, about Nigerian unity. You could see how his oratory speech actually stunned everybody, and the silence in this country was louder than, let me say, chaotic, boisterous protest or war. That is what makes a man a king. Igbo man is a king because his family has originally inherited it from the Igbo contraption. Our culture and tradition will never be, drilled. It can never drill. It can never be bought over. It can never be intimidated. That's whom we are. Oni has tried his best to bend the Igbes, the kings, who are his father, senior over his father, to bow before him, to be under him. No, nobody, no king in Nigeria is above the Igbo kingship. Why? We are here on the continent of Africa, BC, before our Lord Jesus Christ. So, not Yoruba kingdom, not the Fulani Caliphates, or any other contraption or tribe in Nigeria will bring the Igbos down. The gathering was right now clear to everybody that the Igbos, the Igbo kings, the monarchs that actually went to Abuja to honor invitation by Oni of Ife and Tinubu administration, they were there for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release and freedom. And you know what I'm trying to tell you right now? Israeli government, Knesset, and American Congress giving Nigeria 72 hours, though the 60 days expiration of instruction and order by United Nations organization expired long ago, and United Nations is threatening serious embargo and sanction against Nigeria. Failure to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, 72 hours given by Benjamin Netanyahu and the United States of America for Nigeria to do the needful, or the forces standing by that could extricate Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from dungeon. Very soon. We are not asking for excuse. We are not asking for dialogue or negotiation with Nigerian government. Kanu has not done anything. Why could this administration and the Buhari administration be suffering an innocent man, an Igbo man that has not done nothing? He has been going through ordeal, agonizing situation, condition since 2021, risking it being yourself or your son. Our king from the axis of Ezagu, Enugu State, stipulated his point clear, demanding from Tinubu that he unconditionally releases Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He should give the executive order right now. Yes. Silence right now is louder than voice. It is too obvious that Igbowo was freed, and the Yoruba land and their KBC in council wanted to give him the highest honor in the land. This is a man that committed the same crime with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is moving freely, even with the highest honor in Yoruba land. Achiwaju, Otumba, Are Oni Kakamfo, the general of Yoruba, war general in the southwest, to a man who is right now freed from Cotonou, freed by Tinubu administration, while an innocent man that has well prophesied and predicted the current situation, bloody one, yes, perpetrated by the Fulani oligarchy across Nigerian farmland, topography and regions, killing and paying people in southwest with impunity and such audacity that government of this man, BAT, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, could not ask Fulani why and bring them to justice. But an innocent Igbo man who is not doing anything wrong but agitating for emancipation of his people, the Igbos, was seized, jailed, unnecessarily jailed, illegal jailing, court ruling, and stated by that Igbo senator that is packed in the house of the lawmakers, telling his fellow senators that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was illegally jailed. He said that kind of judgment is not supposed to hold. He was even employing or enjoining most of his colleagues in the house to advocate for Kanu's release. They started tackling him. He stood on his feet, even attacking these people, these lawmakers, these vultures, political vultures, back, that they could not do him anything. Yes, when you said, am I a lawyer? They were asking me, are you a lawyer? He said, no, but I'm a lawmaker. I know law. I make the law. I am among the lawmakers in Nigeria. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is innocently, is an innocent man, illegally, incarcerated by Nigerian political system, which has turned, its back on the Igbos, neglecting Igbos from 1970 to date. 56 years now, the Igbos has been going through hell. There is a need for, not even a dialogue, urgent, an emergency release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Whether the British likes it or not, we have the congressmen, American congressmen, discussing about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, let me say, sudden freedom. They must free him. He has not committed any crime. All his prophecy and prediction has come to pass. He actually made this revelation in the past that time shall come, or should come, when the Fulanis will run over the entire Nigerian region. Is it not happening now? Who committed bloody crimes in Nigeria? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Ohu. Mazi Nnamdi Ohu Kanu has not committed any crime. Release him. That's the point. We gather here as we call for the councils of the traditional rulers in the south that has never been gazetted in our, monarchical or traditional system, and we are here. You have actually made your stance clear, and we are telling you our heart that illegally you have seized our son for over 5 years now, tormenting and punishing him when he has not done anything. Release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Tinubu release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Gbajapia Mila, Baya Ononoga, release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Look at your Abiu, a bloated, inflated toad from Akwa Ibom. You are still holding on to illegality, claiming that you are Senate President, a position held by Ahmed Saraki, competently satisfying all Nigerians. Ababio, you are there to satisfy only Tinubu and the APC. Your people demanded that this young man dies. If anything happens to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we are aware of what accusation led by El-Rufai that made the EFCC, after seizing El-Rufai, then there came the SS to apprehend him again. El-Rufai is inside because he revealed most of the classified information and documents as a result of his ability to use software or any mechanism to tap the NSA hotline. He overheard them discussing about importation of a particular colorless, odorless chemical from Poland. It has circulated all over the world. That is a chemical weapon. If anything happens to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Nigeria will go down. You should release him now. Release Kanu now. Under 72 hours given to you by Benjamin Netanyahu and Trump administration. United States means business. State of Israel is on it. Recognizing Biafra globally is an ultimate, let me tell you, achievement by Benjamin Netanyahu, the senior brother of Yoni, the young man that lost his life during 90 minutes at Entebbe in Uganda in 1976. precisely 50 years ago. July. See, once upon a time, a great man that was leading the greatest agitation group in the world was apprehended at Nairobi, Kenya, illegally kidnapped into Nigerian contraption, and today he still remains in jail. We are demanding for release of Mazen and the Kanu. Give Igbo whatever honor you like in your land. We don't care. Kanu must come out, and Nigeria must do the needful. Failure to do that, forces standing by, to release Mazen and the Kanu. If abduction of Maduro and his wife Flores in Venezuela, Caracas, could be possible. That possible. Let me tell you, releasing of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu out of Sokoto Correctional Center is as simple as ABC. Here is me telling you exactly what is going on in Nigeria again. And my name is Raphael Mbechikwelu, aka Raf Tresvant. I have come again. Subscribe from my YouTube channel, like me, hit notification bell, share among your WhatsApp, your Facebook, your Instagram and Twitter handles, contacts. Thank you so much for listening. I cherish you, my viewers. Thank you so much, Mr. Tundo Okafo. Thank you so much, Dr. Chuku Emeka. He lives in Germany. Thank you so much, Dr. Charles. He lives in New York City. Thank you so much, Dr. Oku Adi OJ, a professor of the law in the UK. Thank you so much, Mami Nkechi, my mama. Thank you so much. Thank you, my man, Izuchuku from Kinshasa. Thank you so much. What about King Henry, my man? King Henry, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. What about King Joe Oba, Mookie Grades? Thank you so much. OGF4, GOA, Nelly, Ogo, and Gladys Onyabo. Abu Stop and Chop. King Joe Oba, I've mentioned their name. Dr. Ukwoji, thank you so much. Modesty Amuche, thank you so much. I love you all. I appreciate you all. You are welcome to my channel. Goodbye.
Oh yes, that is it. Kudos to these our two Biafran activists. They have explained everything the way it is, so there is no two ways about it. What we are expecting is the United Nations to give order, and then we are all have been seeing how the US has been hitting on hammer on Nigeria, mostly the issue of raising Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. All of them knows what is happening in Nigeria. All of them knows. Both the AU, ECOWAS, UN, United Nations, US, Israel, all of them. All those people you are seeing that they are the world powers. The worst part of it is the British, they are the problem of this country. Because, the people that is eating, that is benefiting everything from the nation, they will not allow anybody to go. That is what is going on. They are benefiting everything. Those crude oil you are seeing that Nigeria is having, gold, silver, browns, everything you think of. The British, they benefit it more than other ethnic group in this country because they believe that it is their own property. And that is why you say whatever people agitate or people cry off, they will not even listen to any part of the country, claiming that Nigeria must remain as one. Nigeria must remain as one is for their own benefit, not for the benefit of the poor people, not for the benefit of the country. And all those things is part of it. And we appreciate the mostly the US Congressman James John, who came out openly to sanction on Nigeria, to tell them that you must release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, or else we will stop giving you aid, so that you will be using it to sponsor terrorists in your country, and you must release Mazen Kanu, or you send him back to his own country, which is London, or you reverse all the case, you file all the things you used to sentence him, you reverse it back and turn it over. In fact, it's a very heavy debate that is going on right now in the US, and they're coming down to the issue of Biafra Referendum. Everybody have seen it, starting from the one to date. This issue of every day, every Monday sit at home is sign to tell you that those people don't need your country. They don't need Nigeria anymore. What they need is Biafra, and what everybody is expecting is Biafra. So it is better for you to give them their nation, and for you, instead of you to still keeping them fighting and they running out of skelter, claiming that Nigeria must remain as one. The people that is benefiting from this whole one Nigeria is the politician. That is the people that is the benefited because they are in the corridors of power, making money, making wealth, harvesting money to their own children and to their own generation. But as for I and you, that is in a country that doesn't have any say to say according to what is going on, but meaning we don't have anything, but at the end they will tell us that they are our leaders or they are serving us. They are serving us, but all of them is just lies. In fact, all we are expecting is for what happened in Somaliland to happen in Nigeria in Biafran issue very soon. And we're also expecting the fast and the release of Mazi and Namdekano. Also, I would like to hear your comment. That may like, subscribe, and share for everyone to see things going on in the country. So thank you for watching.